Imagine working long shifts at a grocery store, earning an average paycheck, and never driving a luxury car. Most people would never guess you're quietly building a fortune. But what if one ordinary grocery clerk followed a few timeless money habits so consistently that over decades, his investments grew to more than $5 million? This fictional story is inspired by real wealth-building principles, and the lessons could completely change the way you think about money. Meet David. Every morning, he stocked shelves before sunrise, greeted customers with a smile, and went home without attracting attention. His coworkers assumed he lived paycheck to paycheck because he wore simple clothes, packed homemade lunches, and drove an old sedan. Many people believed wealth came from high salaries, expensive degrees, or lucky breaks. David believed something different. He understood that wealth isn't about looking rich, it's about owning assets that grow over time. Instead of upgrading his lifestyle every time he received a raise, he invested the difference. While others bought newer cars and bigger televisions, David quietly bought shares of diversified index funds and quality companies. At first, his progress looked painfully slow, but that's exactly how compound growth works. Small, consistent investments eventually become something extraordinary. So here's what made all the difference. David treated every paycheck as a tool instead of a reward. He separated needs from wants and avoided unnecessary spending. Because his expenses stayed low, he always had money available to invest. Wealth often begins with controlling spending before increasing income. Every month, regardless of market conditions, David invested a fixed amount. When prices fell, he didn't panic. He simply bought more shares at lower prices. Over decades, this disciplined habit allowed compound growth to do the heavy lifting. Each promotion gave
David more income, but not a more expensive lifestyle. Instead of upgrading everything, he upgraded his investments. That simple decision multiplied his future wealth without making his present life stressful. Many people chase quick profits. David chased time. He understood that earning an average return for 30 years often beats chasing unrealistic returns for 1 year. Patience became his greatest financial advantage. David spent 30 minutes every evening reading books about investing, business, and money psychology. The more he learned, the fewer emotional mistakes he made during market crashes. Knowledge became one of his most valuable investments. He rarely borrowed money for things that lost value. Instead of paying interest on luxury purchases, he earned returns from investments. This single habit protected his cash flow for decades. Whenever David invested, he imagined buying a small piece of a real business instead of simply purchasing a stock. That mindset helped him stay calm when markets became volatile because he focused on long-term business growth instead of daily price movements. After nearly 40 years, David retired quietly. His neighbors still saw an ordinary grocery clerk. They didn't see decades of discipline, patience, and consistent investing. His portfolio had grown beyond $5 million, not because he earned an extraordinary salary, but because he followed ordinary habits with extraordinary consistency. The biggest lesson isn't that everyone will retire with millions. The real lesson is that building wealth usually doesn't require being the smartest person in the room. It requires patience, discipline, and the willingness to think long-term while everyone else is focused on today. If there's one habit you can start today, make it consistent investing and living below your means. Your future self will thank you. Comment below which lesson had the biggest impact on your thinking. Subscribe to Money Decoded for more stories that simplify investing, money psychology, and long-term wealth-building business. This story is fictional and created for educational purposes to illustrate real investing principles. It is not financial advice. Always consult a qualified financial advisor before making investment decisions.